the statement of changes in equity. Sometimes some material call this statement of changes in net investment of members. So should you find this kind of this kind of terms, please understand that the statement of changes in equity is the same as statement of changes in net investment of members. So I just want us to go through that. It's a very simple statement, but before we can get into the business, if you remember very well, we did have a statement of changes in equity under the sole trader. If I may ask, is there anyone who remember the layout or the formula which we follow to calculate or to compile the statement of changes in equity under sole trader? Is there anyone who can try just to give me a short version of that statement before I can remind you of that statement? Okay, I guess silence means we forgot. Okay, let me just take you through that. Remember, under sole trader, the statement of changes in equity we start is like the movement around capital. We start with the balance at the beginning for capital. We had to add additional contribution of capital, and we had to deduct drawings, and we had to add the net profit for the year. And at the end, we got the balance at the end of the period. Did you get my point? Yes, this is what we did. I think, again, it was part of your assignment. The statement of changes in equity evolved around the sole trader. I think sole trader had that particular statement of changes in equity. And again, after we dealt with the sole trader, remember we went through partnerships. Again, under partnerships, we had the statement of changes in equity. Just to remind you about the format or the layout of the statement, the statement of changes in equity under partnership had the following columns. Obviously, we had the column for details where we write all the details. And we had two columns for capital of each partner, if you remember very well. We had another additional two columns for current accounts for both partners, if you remember. And again, we had the column for appropriation and the column for total. Do you still remember that statement? Yes, because I don't want you to confuse the statements. Again, luckily, because you will be given the formats, so it means you can just see whether you are expected to deal with the statement under sole trader and the statement under partnership. Again, to add on the format, remember what we put normally under details? We had to put the balances at the beginning, where we put the balance for each capital and for each current account. And we had to make sure that we put the total comprehensive income for the year, which is the same as the net profit for the year. And thereafter, we had to record the partnership agreement. When I talk about the partnership agreement, it was all about the salaries to partners, the bonuses, the interest on capital, the interest on current accounts, the interest on drawings. And thereafter, we had to put the profit share at the bottom. And the last thing that we recorded there was drawing so that we can find the balance at the end. Do you still remember that? Okay. Thank you very much for that. Now let me focus on the statement of changes in equity under close corporation. It's very similar, but a little bit different. Okay, here I've got a question that I want us to go through. As you can see here, let's focus on this question. 1, you can see here we've got the pre-adjustment trial balance of Mutawarira CC on the 30th of June 2017. Remember, this 2017, it means this is our financial year end. You can even see here, I'm trying to underline, it's the 30th of September 2017. So this is the trial balance, which is pre-adjustment trial balance. I think you are not surprised by now. You know that under the trial balance, we have the balance sheet section, as you can see here. And then we have, if I can go to the next, check there. I think you maybe you managed to make copies for this so that it can be easier for you. And we have got the nominal account section. As you know, the nominal account section consists of all the incomes and expenses. But if you can check, if I can go back to the balance sheet section, this section consists of assets, owners' equities, and liabilities. So I want us to be familiar with this pre-adjustment trial balance. Any questions so far? Okay, now let me go back to slide number 3. I think you're not surprised. So this exercise, I did manipulate it a bit. So I gave you a lot of information because I want to test you and check if you can be able to extract only the necessary information in order for us to compile the statement of changes in equity. I think you are familiar with this additional information. Remember, additional information also referred to as what? As adjustments. So you can see that there are adjustments from 1 to 9. So at the moment, I'm not going to talk much about them. So I'm going to go to the requirements. Let's check our requirements here. If you can check when it comes to our requirements here, so you can see that they are asking us for what we call the statement of changes in equity. So this is our main aim, okay? So I'm gonna quickly go to the next slide just to show you the format. So this statement is short like this. So it has got members' contribution, it has got retained earnings, it has got total. Remember, when I was introducing this section for CC, I did explain and classify these accounts. For example, I did ask you, how could you, for example, classify members' contribution? I said members' contribution is the other term for capital. So members' contribution is an equity. And I even explained the retained earnings. I even classified the fact that the retained earnings are owner's equity. So this is the format that you need to know. So I'm just going to show you how to deal with this information and with this format. For now, guys, let me give you a few seconds so that those who don't have this question, please make sure that you have got this question in front of you, because when I start recording, by going forth and back, obviously can be a challenge. But I'm going to highlight the information for you. But for now, please let me give you 5 seconds so that you can go and look for this info. Thank you. Okay, guys, I think we can continue now. So I just want us to go back before we can come back to this members' contributions, the retained earnings. I want us to go back and check the information. Remember, this will be all about the members' contribution and the retained earnings. So if I go back, I just want to go back a bit. I just want to go and check. Can you see here we have the members' contribution under balance? I'm referring to this one. So we've got members' contribution here. And then we have got what? Retained earnings. Okay. So it means this will be the balances which we are going to start with. Okay. But we still have to look at the other information there. So firstly, we have got these balances. Please note these balances. So note this balance. I'm going to use this balance and I'm going to use this balance. Please write them down if you didn't make a copy of this particular statement. So just note them down because I'm going to need them. Did everyone know them? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So now I'm going to switch over to the next slide. If you can check next slide, these are just the incomes and expenses, but I want you to note N8. Can you see this? Distribution to members. Remember, I did explain this. This affects members. So this will affect the profit that we make. So this is going to affect our retained earnings because the distribution to members will need to be paid out of the profit we made. Okay, so again, note this amount of, I want you to know this amount of what? Of 86,400. Please note before I go to the next slide so that by the time when I start recording, we have got all the info. Okay, now I'm going to move to the next slide. As you can see here, yes, I gave you a lot of information here, but I'm only going to focus on the information that I need. Now, I want you to look at number 7. Can you see adjustment number 7? This is all about the additional, can you see? This is the additional 68,400 must be distributed to members. So it means, apart from the distribution that I said you must highlight from the balance, we do have an additional what? 68,400. Again, I want you to know this 68,400 because it's going to affect what? The distribution to members. Okay. And again, you to look at so number 8 is all about the net profit for the year. You see, this net profit for the year will need to be used because, as I said, the distribution to members are paid out of the profit. So this profit is going to be what? Important for us. It's the net profit which we made during the year. Sometimes we call it what? Total comprehensive income for the year. Okay. And again, I want us to note what? The transaction on the 9th. So we have got what we call what? The taxation. Okay. So again, this taxation, yes, sometimes it can affect us, but we need to check whether we're still going to use it or not. But I'm going to explain more on that. So for now, I just want us to look at 7, 8, 9. Please note, because I still have to come back and explain. Any questions so far? Thank you very much. Now, guys, I'm going to show you how to record in the statement of changes in equity. So I believe that you noted all the info. I'm going to ask you for this information that I said you need to highlight. Okay. Now, let me go to the next slide. Firstly, we need to make sure that we put the balances at the beginning. So the first thing that I'm going to record here, I'm going to say, let me just try this. I'm going to say balance at the beginning or as at. So this period ended on the 30th of June 2017, meaning we started on the 1st of July 2016. So these are just the balances given to us. Please give me the balance of the members' contribution because we do have it. Please help me with that balance. 205,200. I think everyone is following. But now let's talk about this balance. In future, when, let's say, for example, on under the additional information, they said that the members made additional contribution during the period, you will have to check whether these contributions have been included already in this amount of 205,200. So if they've been included, you have to take the additional contribution out of that amount so that you can remain only with the amount at the beginning of the year. But if you can check in this exercise, there is no information about the additional contribution, meaning what we started with is what we ended with. That's why I just put this 205,200 as the balance. Okay. Now, we need to put the balance of what? Of the retained earnings. Please give me the retained earnings balance. Eight 792. Thank you very much. And please add, I want the total for both. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Okay, that is the first thing that you do. As you can see, irrespective of the form of ownership, when you deal with the statement of changes in equity, you always start with what? With the balances. Thank you very much. Auditors, yeah, you're on point. You're on point, auditor, and we appreciate that. Now, the next thing that we need to put the net profit for the year. So the net profit for the year, according to our book, they call it as total comprehensive income for the year. So this is the same as the net profit for the year or net profit after tax. But if we can go back to the information there, we have been given the net profit for the year, meaning that net profit, the minute they say net profit for the year, it means that is the net profit after tax. And again, if you can check the information, that profit is after taking all the adjustments into consideration. But in a nutshell, even in the future, when they say net profit for the year, it means it's net profit after tax. So next time when they say net profit before tax, you will have to take out tax. You were supposed to take that profit and minus what? Tax. Please give me that amount of profit so that I can record. Yes, remember, it must be under what? Retained earnings. Remember, retained earnings is the profit which was which remained the previous year. So where I put the retained earnings, I need to go and put what? The profit for the year. They are all incomes. They are all the profits together. And obviously, when you add them together, you get the same amount, which is 697. Thank you very much for that. Now, after recording the total comprehensive income for the year, we need to go and check, do we have any distribution to members? And remember, we did have a balance, but at the same time, we had an additional contribution. So I need both amounts so that we can add them together so that we can know the total for this particular year. Please help me with the balance. 68,400, thank you very much. Plus additional how much? Okay, the balance was 86,400. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, and then plus additional 68,400. Please add them for us. Thank you very much for that. And I'm gonna put it here. Okay, but in brackets because we're gonna pay this amount out of the profit. So you must always put it in brackets. Okay. And then again, the total obviously is going to be that. I hope everything is for the moment. Okay. Never mind, they're not in line, but yeah, as long as you can see what is going on. Okay. And the last thing that we need to find, guys, is going to be the balance at the end. Balance as at 30th of June 2017. And obviously here, I'm going to have 205, 200. Help me with the other columns. So 18,792 plus 569,753 minus 154,800. How much do we get? Thank you very much for that. And then the same applies to the total. We do the same thing. Thank you very much, auditor, and thank you very much, accountant. This is how the statement looks like, guys. The only challenge is that it can give you a lot of information. So it doesn't mean that you must use all the information, as long as you use what you need. This is similar to the sole trader, because under sole trader, remember, we had the balance like we did here, the balance at the beginning, and we had to add the profit for the year, and we had to less drawings. Can you see now? And now we have got what? Balance at the end. So it's similar, just that here we've got two accounts in the form of equity. But under sole trader, we only had one column. I think you can see that you can relate this two statements. So this is what I wanted to show you under the statement of changes. Do you have any questions, guys? Thank you, guys. I think now we can switch over to the next one. The next one that I'm going to do, guys, let me switch over to the next slide. We have done this before. Remember when I was explaining the changes in ownership structure, I showed you 3 scenarios. But, you know, this one, the way they asked is like a little bit different. So I just said, let me just take this question so that I can go through it with you, so that when you see it in the exam, so you can know what to do. Let's just first go through the information here. As you can see here, we've got a business here, and this business was registered on the 1st of April. And then the founding statement of CC sets out the following. So here we've got, as you can see here, we have got 2 members, member A and member B. And then as you can see, the current interest here, we've got 70% for A and 30% for B. And this is the members' contribution according to the ranks. So this is the given information. And again, they say the following abbreviated trial balance of the closed corporation was available on the 31st of March 2011. So again, as you can see here, we've got the members' contribution given to us in total. We've got the undrawn profits, guys. Remember, the undrawn profit, guys, is the same as retained earnings. Please write next to retained earnings. So they've got different ways of calling it. Don't be confused. Okay, this is the same thing. Okay, and they gave us the mortgage loan bond. They gave us the loan to member. They gave us the land and buildings. They gave us the bank. So this is just the given information. Okay. Any question about this slide, guys, where I was busy trying to explain here? Anyone with a question? So that I can go to the next slide. Okay, I guess I must continue. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. As you can see here, guys, they say with regard to 2012 financial year. Okay, they say Edison, in other words, this is one of the members. He transferred 20% of his contribution to Bentley. Remember here, we talked about this before. So remember, there are 3 scenarios. If you remember very well, we did talk about this scenario before. This is a transfer between the members. So this one is called, let me just write it down, internal transfer. If you remember very well. So we have done this before. So there's a transfer from one member to the other. But the condition was that, okay, thereafter they say A. Edison lent. Okay, let's talk about this. If A. Edison lent, let me try to do this. He lent the CC 12,000, and this is going to be what? Repayable on the 31st. So this means we call this loan from member. Just trying to analyze. Okay, this is a loan from member because the member loaned the business that money. Okay. And again, if you can check on the 31st of December, the building was, let me just do this. The building, sorry guys, the building was revalued. So meaning we are going to revalue the building. We're going to check whether we made loss or not. So, but if you can go and check the land and building here from the list of balances, the amount of land and building was how much? Was 11,600. I'm just trying to analyze, guys. Let me just do it for you here. Please let me know if you're a little bit lost. So the balance was how much? Was 11,600. And the current amount, they say it must be how much? They say it's 148,800. So if I can minus that balance from, you can even go back to the trial balance. The balance is given to us as 111,600. So if you can use your calculator, I think the revaluation, I think it's going to be 37,200. You see, this is what? It's a revaluation reserve. It's a gain. So this will be called revaluation, okay? Reserve. But I'm going to come back to it. So I'm just trying to analyze in advance. So we gain, so we revalue the asset, and that asset will increase what? Our reserves at the end of the day. Okay. They say all the interest was paid and received promptly on the 31st of March, no problem. And they say the undrawn profit. Remember, I said the undrawn profit is the same as retained what? Earnings. So we need to make sure that we use this amount by the time when we deal with our books. So remember, this is when on the 31st of what? Of March. So we have got our undrawn as how much? As 89,200. Okay. And again, they say the distribution of income is equals to 50% of undrawn income. This is just the same as what? It's the same as, we can call it what? Distribution. Members. Yeah, so I'm just trying to make sure that I give you more information before we can go and record. Okay, so apart from this information, check our requirements. Firstly, they want us to calculate the change in members' interest in the form of a percentage, is what we did previously, and they also want us to calculate the members' change in members' what? Funds. So this is what we did before. Okay. So anyone with a question, guys, before we can go and tackle the question? Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. This is the first requirement, guys. Unfortunately, I didn't number this. Can you see this is what? The change in members' interest. I think you remember we did this before. If I remember very well, we did this. We said the first thing that we write here, we had to write existing members' interests. Please, if you are lost, let me know. Currently, I think we have got 70%. And we've got 30%. Is everyone following here? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. And then now, according to our information, remember there's 3 scenarios. The first scenario is like we admit a new member. The second one was a member resigned. And the third one is internal transfer. So this one, as I indicated, this is our internal transfer. Okay, so who's gonna try and calculate for us? How am I gonna deal with this kind of information? How much? Okay, as you can see, member A transferred to member B. So meaning we need to take something out of member A and give what? B that particular percentage. So how much must I take from member A? Please try with your calculator and tell me how much do you think I need to take from member A and give to member B. %. And obviously this 14% must be given to, this is an exam type question, guys. So make sure that you understand this. So we give to member what? Member B. I think everyone is following. Okay. Thank you very much. And then now let's find the new members' interests. And how much is 70 minus 40? 56%. And how much will be 30 plus 14? Obviously, it's gonna be 44. I think this is just a recap. I think you still remember this. Okay, this is the first requirement. They wanted us to do this. Okay. May I proceed? It's good to recap sometimes. No problem. Now, let's go to the next one. The next one is the changes in what? In members' funds. Remember very well what we did before. Without wasting time, remember we had members' contribution. If you can check the members' contribution, they have been divided for us. If you can go back to the question, remember where we had the question where we started, the first table, number 1, they did separated those two for us. So the first one is 67, 500, no, not 500, 67, 700. I think you're all following. And the next one is 29. Thousands. I hope everyone is following. Okay. And the next one, we have retained earnings. Remember the retained earnings is the same as the undrawn income. You can write undrawn income if you want. Now, let's talk about this retained earnings. Okay. Remember the whole thing about transferring to the other member took place during 2012. But if you can go back to the list of balances, they gave us a balance for the undrawn profits as how much? 29,800. And that 29,800 was during March 2011. But the transfer took place during 2012. So we cannot use the figure for 2011 because it changed from 29,800. And now if you can check under that information under 2012, we have undrawn profit of 89,200. Can you all see that? So we have got the balance. Yes, we need to use the one under the date during which or on which the transfer took place. So the amount is 89,200, but this 89,200 must be shared amongst the members by using their interests. Remember, member A's interest is 70%, member B's interest is what? Is 30%. So 70% of this 89,200, how much is it? Six to 40. And the remainder will be 30%. How much is 30%? When I use my calculator, I get 26. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, 260. Please, I think everyone is following. Be careful here. You must check the date on which the transfer took place. Okay. The transfer took place when the amount of retained earnings was how much? 89,200. Now, let me go back. Remember when we were talking about the Lennon building? The Lennon building has been revalued. After revaluation, we realized that we gained. I even remember I did have a calculation for you, and that gain was 37,200. That gain affects our reserves. It's a revaluation reserve. Sometimes we call it revaluation surplus. So revaluation surplus or reserve is part of equity. So here we're going to have an additional one that we did not start with. The one that just took place during the period, we call it what? Revaluation reserve. That is the revaluation of land and building. So that revaluation, as I indicated before, was 37,200. So again, we need to share this amongst members using their existing interest at the moment or the interest given to us. So please share that amongst them. 70% and 30% of this 37,200. My calculator, I get 26,040. Please help me if I'm wrong. Thank you very much for that, Elian. And then I'm gonna have, yes, the other one is 1,116. Okay, so this is a special case. It just took place during the period. We did not start with, okay? But the fact that it took place during the period of transfer, we have to put it here, okay? And now, guys, we can add them together. Please help me with the totals. Thank you very much for that. Let me draw a line here. The total $156,180. Member B, the total is 66,920. Any questions, guys? These are the totals before the transfer. Okay. Now, after doing that, like we did before, we need to show that now the internal transfer takes place now. The internal transfer take place. When the internal transfer take place, remember we need to check the movement around those. Okay, so we can say what happened to members' contribution. And we need to check the movement around retained earnings. And we must also check the movement around the new equity evaluation. Surplus. Let me call it reserve because I called it reserve before. Now, I think you remember we did this before. We need to take something from A to B. Let's start with the members' contribution here. Remember, we need to use that share that is going to get the 20%. So what we need to do, we need to go and check 20% of the members' contribution for A, and we're going to take it out of A. So what is 20% of 67,700? Thank you very much for that. I'm going to put it here. I'll take it out. 135. And I'll take it to B. The same applies to retained earnings the same way. Remember the nominal value, that is the value of the transaction. So that will be between the two members. Okay. So this member, the member B will give member A, it will be between themselves, but it won't affect our books as a CC. It is between their heads, if you understand what I mean. Okay. So this nominal won't affect the books of CC. It's just that B will just say, A, here is your money. It's transaction between them, not between what? Not within the CC. Okay, thank you very much for that. So let's do the CC. The retained earnings. How much must I take? According to my calculation, I need to take, okay, just do it again for me. 1, 2, yes. 1, 2, 4, 8. And I must take it to thank you very much, Orita. The same applies to the reserve, the same thing with the reserve. You get 5208. Double check for me. And we must give, no, sorry, I think I made a mistake here with the other one there. 5, 2. Okay, so I didn't have to put brackets here, guys. Check here. Check this one. Retain earnings under B must be without brackets. Okay. Must be without brackets. So exclude brackets on this one. I'm referring to this one. Please exclude brackets here. This must not be brackets. Okay. No brackets. So I just made a mistake there. Please, someone erase this for me from your side there, if you can, the brackets. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I owe you 70% of my salary. Okay, guys. And now, after doing this, remember, we had the new members funds. So I must come here. I can say total funds or new members funds. I will definitely do that. Yes, I will make sure that I share with you. Okay, new members funds, guys. We're gonna check the movement. Contribution. Leon, which are you referring to? Are you referring to? Oh, yeah. I think I said no. Let me just say 7%, not 70. It's a lot. A lot. And I'm gonna check, guys. I'm running out of space here. You got me there. You got me there. So you got me there. So let's cancel the zero there. Retained earnings. And then, sorry, because of space, guys, I'm gonna add revaluation here because I think I ran out of lines here. Revaluation. Okay, let's check the movement, guys. Help me. Obviously, the members' contribution will change. Yes, you said 5-4. Okay, 5-4. Auditors will attack. Auditors attack. And then what about B? B must increase. Let's find B 29,000. 42540. Thank you very much. Retain earnings. $62,440. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated. What about the retained earnings for B? Thank you, auditor. For B, it must be 2. Which one is correct? Okay, 39. Thank you. 248. Let's do the reserve. Thank you. The reserve 26040 minus 5208. $20832. Thank you very much. And then let's do it for B. It's gonna be 11160 plus 5208. Thank you very much once again. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate. And now, perfect. Now we can find the totals for each and we put it in line with the new members fund. So let's add the total for members contribution, retained earnings, and reserves for member A. Thank you very much. 12494. Let's find B's total, please. Thank you for that. verification. Nine, 8, 1. Thank you very much for that. Okay, any question about this, guys? I know it was just a little bit of a revision on this one, but the information can be a little bit different. Okay, so we need to make sure that we understand how to extract this information. Okay, now if you can check this requirements of ours. I want us to add this because I can see that on the question there, I forgot to add the next requirement. The next requirement that I want us to look at, of which I want us to talk about, let me go to the next slide. Can you see this next slide where it's members net investment? This is something different. So if they ask you for members net investment, in a nutshell, this means that should one of the member decide to go, or should the members decide to terminate the whole CC, how much must we pay them out? Okay, this is called members net investment, meaning what belongs to the members at the moment. Don't confuse this with the statement of changes in equity. Okay? But I'm going to show you this one so that you can understand what we mean. Obviously, if we need to determine how much will be the members net investment, firstly, we will need to bring forward. Let me change the color here. We will need, remember we had the new members funds. The one that we just calculated. Okay, these new members funds need to be copied here because this is what belongs to the members at the moment. So if you can go back, how much was the total? The one that we just recently calculated? I think it was 148 was 124, if I'm not mistaken. 124. $944. Thank you very much for that. Okay. And for B, how much was it? 98 something? 98156. Okay, please add them together for me. I must put them under the total. This is called members net investment. How much do they worth now? Please add, use the calculator and add for us. Two, 3, 1. Okay. This is the first thing that we need to do. We put the total net members, thank you very much, funds. And now, if you can check here, there was transactions between the members. Firstly, let's start with the loan to members. I think we had loan to members. So the question is, when we talk about the loan to members, remember the loan to members, it means the business gave a member a loan. Meaning if we decide to terminate the business, meaning this member must pay back this loan to the CC. So the question is, will this loan to member have a negative impact on the member's investment or a positive impact? What can you say about that? A negative impact because this belongs to the business. So let's check where did the CC give loan to? To whom did the CC give a loan to. So the loan was given to B. So we need to go to B and take it out, meaning B needs to pay this out. So if I check very well there, the loan was 7,500. So the 7,500 must be taken out of B, okay? And again, the total will be 7,500. I hope this thing is making sense. Any question? Thank you very much, Viola, for that. So he must pay back the loan. But if you check very well, we had a loan from a member. So according to our information, remember when I was busy, thank you very much. So when I was busy highlighting the information for you there, we had a loan from a member. I think A gave CC a loan. So obviously this loan belongs to B. So when B can decide to leave us, it means we have to give him that particular loan. So we need to go to B. I think I made a mistake. What's happening? No, A, sorry, A, yeah, A. So meaning I must go to A. Thank you very much for that. And give A how much? I think it was 12,000. You remember very well? And it's going to be 12,000. Okay. And then thereafter, we are going to find our net members, member. Please add for me so that I can find the total. So for A, obviously, we're going to add everything there for A. How much is A, please? Thank you very much. B, don't forget that for B, there's a negative. Thank you very much, auditor. Please find B for us. B is 90,656. And the total, please. 227. This is what we call the members' net investment. So examiners, I know normally if you can check most of the previous papers, they don't normally say this, but never say never. I know examiners. And you remember very well that this is 2018. Everything is abnormal so far. You can even see what is happening around here. It's like 2018 is like, I don't know whether it's the worst or it's like one of, I don't know. But please, let's make sure that we are ready for them. Okay. I'm telling you, at the moment, we covered everything for CC. And then by the time when we revise, you will see that we have seen this before. Okay. We touched on whatever we had to touch on. Okay. And again, guys, next time, we're going to focus on the last unit called what? What's it called? We call it incomplete records. As I indicated before, there's nothing new about it. It's just that the information comes differently. This means that for incomplete records, any section can come. For example, the section, unit number 5 can come as incomplete. So as long as we went through all the topics, we will be able to answer the incomplete records. So any question about the CC so far, guys? Do you think that you have got anything to do with it? Yes, Leandra, and then this is a very good question. This won't affect us here as the distribution to members. It will affect our retained earnings. Okay, so we assume that the retained earnings that we had at the end of the period, already they have deducted that. Okay, they just gave you that information just to confuse you. So it has been absorbed by what? By the undrawn profit. So this one won't affect us in this case. We okay? So we cannot put the distribution to members unless if they ask you to open the appropriation account. Yes, this distribution was supposed to go to an appropriation account or to the statement of changes in equity. Are we together? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I'm telling you, I think I'm gonna suggest this, and then when I write and you give me, I think we can get 100. I think it's a good idea. I think I will suggest this. I think they will like it at work. So tomorrow during our meeting, we'll do that. Thank you very much for that, guys. Okay, guys, I'm gonna maybe during the course of this week, maybe again to give you like because now it's time for exam, maybe to put another 1 hour, but I'll tell you because it will depend on my availability. Maybe again Saturday somewhere here, maybe 1 hour. I think it will be useful. So if I can have that time, I think you won't mind to have that extra 1 hour. But yeah, but I'll talk to you about that. Thank you very much for that, guys, because I'm gonna have another session in 25 minutes with the other group. So thank you very much for understanding today, guys. I think we'll see each other again during the course of the week. 1 hour, I think I can give you that 1 hour. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. See you later this week once again. I'm going to give you 1 hour. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.